only two key things that you need to know about tabbing. You need to walk quickly and you need to get some weight on your back.
Hi there, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Ass Up and Move Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, peta-gay Barrett with Barrett Fitness Enterprises, and on this podcast, we discuss fitness, nutrition, overall health, and overall well-being. Super excited about this episode, you guys, because I have a very special guest, my YouTube pal, Mr. Samuel Mouncher, all the way from Great Britain, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam.
Hi Peter, thanks so much for having me on your channel. I'd also like to start off by saying I've done a what's in my cup, because I do really like your videos on what's in my cup, and I have a vegan protein, which is my post-workout shake, so I'll be having that in about half hour's time. Then I'll go and do a workout. But once again, thank you so much for having me.
It's actually a great way to start your day, right? Just to get you that boost of energy, just to get up and go in the morning, or, you know, before you do a workout. But tell us, where exactly are you joining us from today?
So I'm currently joining you from the south coast of England, near Bournemouth. I think that's the biggest city that you may have heard of about where I am. And I'm also currently, as you can see, in work, and that's why I'm in my uniform.
So I know you're a military guy, Sam. I can see you wearing your uniform right now. I know you've been to Iraq. I know you've been to Afghanistan. And I know a little bit about you, but tell us a little bit more details about yourself.
So I've been in the army now approximately 19 years. I joined up in 2001, spent a year in training. And after that year in training, I got posted to my working unit, and within 2 months, I was sent straight out to Iraq on Optelic, which is your Operation Iraqi Freedom. Went out on there, came back. That was in 2003. In 2005, I went back out again to Baghdad, where I met my wife, Tiani, who was in the Texas National Guard. We got married soon after that, had 2 children, and I'm still in the army, really enjoying it. It's a good life. It's been really good to me, and it's been excellent to my family as well.
Well, how old were you when you joined the military, Sam, and what did you do before that?
I suppose if you think about it, I joined quite late in my life. I had a little bit of life experience before I joined up in the army. I joined up when I was 21, and I left school when I was 16 to become a dental technician. So I was making false teeth, gold crowns, and other type of crowns. Pretty much exactly the same as what dental technicians do in the States. And of course, I think that went pretty well for me joining up a little bit later. I had that little bit of maturity, which certainly helped when I was going through basic training.
So dental technician turned military guy turned YouTuber. So what inspired you to want to join the military? What was your motivation or your inspiration? Did you have maybe your dad or an uncle or, you know, family member? Do you come from a military background?
So I originally tried to join up as a dental technician within the army, and when I went there for a couple of days sort of look at life, I didn't really feel that it was for me, because I kind of had enough at the old dental side anyway. So I then joined up as the Royal Signals electronic warfare specialist, and we've got quite a lot of history within my family. My dad was a police officer, so he was kind of like in the police institution. My granddad, he was in the Royal Artillery in World War II, and my other granddad was in the RAF as well. So I suppose you could almost say it's in our DNA that we're gonna go into some kind of service. Most of the men in the Mouncher family.
So what would you say are some of the challenges that you face, being a military person and a family man? What were some of the, or are some of the challenges that you face, whether it be physically or, mental?
I think The biggest challenge for me, certainly in the army, is when I do deploy now. I was quite lucky before. When I was single, I used to love deploying. I used to want to get out on operations all of the time. But then, of course, I met my wife and had my family, and I've done another couple of tours since then. And leaving them, I think, is the hardest thing to do. It doesn't faze me. That's what we joined the military for, is to go on operations. But I think the hardest part, most certainly, is leaving the children and leaving my wife to deploy for months upon months at a time. Especially my first deployment was after we had my child. I think my youngest was 1 and my eldest was 3. So that was quite difficult. So I think that's the hardest challenge for me mentally, most certainly.
Oh wow, Sam, I can totally see how, having trying to start a family and having a wife and young children can be a challenge if, you have to leave them for months at a time. But, like you said, that's what you signed up for. I want to personally thank you for your services. I know you probably did not directly service my country, but I know that the U.S. military works very closely with the British military. So, thank you for your services. I'm sure your country appreciates your services. So tell us a little bit about your health and fitness prior to joining the military. Were you a fitness guy before you actually joined the military?
Yeah, I was most definitely into health and fitness before I joined the army. I was a pretty good cross-country runner, so I used to run for my school and I ran for the county on a few occasions as well. Nothing like your level, Peter, by any standards, but I was pretty decent, so I kept up a good level of fitness, and I used to go to the gym quite a lot as well. But one thing I wish I knew then what I do know now about health and fitness, and channels like yours most certainly with the nutrition and the health, and channels like mine, I think are a good asset to anybody that wants to get into health and fitness. And I wish I had access to things like these when I was a young lad as well.
Cross country, huh? More powers to you on that, Sam. I am a sprinter, so I could probably say I was nowhere on your level. I sprinted in college and, post-collegiately, and represented Jamaica, for a little bit, but I started to get into long distance running as I got older. I got up to a half a marathon. When I was in college, I despised cross country, so kudos to you. So would you say the military has helped your overall health and fitness and your overall well-being? And if so, how?
The British Army is all about health and well-being, and certainly fitness as well, and we can get away on adventure training as often as we are able to in line with our jobs, and there's always skiing expeditions and there's always walking expeditions, and they go out to places like the Himalayas and Everest. So it really has helped my health and well-being for certainly, and really opened my eyes to the cultures of the world, and especially because I work so closely with the Nepalese and the Gurkhas. They're extremely into their health and fitness as well. So I think that's had a big effect on me too.
I will have to say, Sam, you're representing the military very well right now, because sounds like I should have joined the military when I was younger. But let's talk about mental health, right? That's something that I know affect the U.S. military, particularly veterans. I would imagine the same, in your country as well, in the military, something that we don't really talk about too much. As military people, you guys see things that most of us will never ever see in our lifetime. So let's talk a little about the military and mental health.
I think the best advice I could give people that may be suffering with mental health is advice that I heard once, and I think is really pertinent to this, whereby if you broke your finger or broke your leg, you would not think twice about going to see a doctor or going to accident and emergency rooms at a hospital. And I think that should be exactly the same with mental health. If you don't feel fit mentally, you should just go and see a doctor, and you should not think twice about it. However, mental health for some reason comes with a stigma that we just need to get rid of, and it should just be as easy as, right, I'm going to see the doctor because I don't feel right mentally. And that's a big belief of mine.
You are so right about that, Sam. I mean, military or, just for regular, everyday civilians, mental health is just one of those things that people think like, okay, something don't feel right, or, I've been through some kind of trauma or something, so, I'll just let it fix itself. But you're right, we have to get up and go get some help. Talk to somebody about it. Like you say, if you break your arm, you're gonna go to the doctor, and if you feel that something's not feeling right psychologically, emotionally, mentally, I totally agree with you. We need to just get up and get some help. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about nutrition. I don't know if you've seen my last podcast that I did last week on the obesity epidemic in our country. The statistics are through the roof, and I was wondering if it is the same in Great Britain, and what do you think? Have you been to the States? What would you say is, some of the reasons why the US our numbers and our statistics for obesity is through the roof? So what's your opinion?
I think education is the biggest barrier to health and nutrition with regards to the obesity, and your brilliant podcast a couple of days ago with the amount of obese people that are in the States. I think there's a lot more access to fast food restaurants over in the States. My wife's from Texas, so whenever we go over there, I am gobsmacked. You can literally drive 100 meters and there's fast food restaurants everywhere. And I think it's a lot cheaper to eat out in the States than it is to actually cook your food at home and buy it from a supermarket. But I think that's a little bit different in the States. I think it's more expensive to eat out and it's cheaper to buy in fresh fruit and cook from home. So I think that's kind of like where the difference is right now. I think it's a lot of it's to do with the price of food, and I think that can have a big effect. If it's more expensive to eat out in the States, I think that may well be the factor, or one of the factors. Certainly, I would imagine there's quite a lot, but that could be one of the factors to an obesity problem.
So I always love to hear, the views and opinions of other people in other countries. And, I myself, I can speak on it as well. I was born in Jamaica, and, when I compare, especially when I was growing up, I'm sure it has changed slightly now. It is a treat to go to like a McDonald's or a Burger King or, pizza or something like that. And it's a lot more expensive. But going to the market and buying fresh fruits and vegetables, that's actually cheaper. So for you, your wife is from the US, you have visited the US, and you are so correct. In the South, she's from Texas. In the South, where Texas is one of those states where the stats are through the roof for obesity. And that's one of the main reasons. You are so spot on with that, Sam. That's one of the main reasons, because every block, every corner you go are, fast food joints, and it is so much more accessible right there at the tip of your fingers, and it's so much more cheaper. But to go to, a Whole Food store or a market or something like that and buy fresh fruits and vegetables, it's just so much more expensive. So you are so spot on about that. But people like us, hopefully, just putting our message out there on YouTube or wherever, and we can get one person and one person can get another person, and doing collaborations like this just to get our message out and to get the word out. Hopefully we can start to or continue to help people in that manner. So let's talk about the big bad COVID. I know it's affected everyone at some way, all over this world. And I would like to ask, how has that affected you, personally? How has COVID-19 affected you personally?
So with the coronavirus, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, it's had a real positive effect on my health and certainly my physical fitness. I used to go to the gym a lot, and I never ever did bodyweight exercises. You'd have to do bodyweight exercises for army fitness tests. However, I never did that before, and all I used to do was go to the gym. But now I absolutely love bodyweight exercises. Will I go to the gym again? I don't actually know. The gyms on camp are open and I haven't been. I'm much rather doing all my calisthenics, and I'm seeing a real change in my body, and I'm getting much fitter. I think I could potentially be at one of my fittest points, even though I'm knocking on the door of 41. I think I could be probably at one of the fittest stages I've ever been. So yeah, coronavirus has been bad, but it hasn't affected me too much. It has had its positives.
Oh my God, that's like music to my ears right now, Sam. Just to hear that, we can use a pandemic to change the way we do things. We can, not only think of it in a negative way that, oh, I have to work from home, or, oh, I can't go to the gym. Switch up the way we do things, right? I've actually did a podcast on that. Like, maybe take these opportunities to start a new venture. Take this opportunity to do things differently from how we've been doing it, trying out something new. Like myself, I love going to the gym, and I don't go to the gym as much as you do, not every day, but at least twice a week I'm, going to the gym. And now I can't go to the gym, but I love doing body weight exercises. That's kind of been my thing. So it's just amazing to hear that, you've utilized it in this way. And it has been, positive for you and for your, for your family. Hopefully you guys are, staying safe. So that is great to hear. But what motivated you to start your YouTube channel? I know for me, I've used COVID. I had a downtime at work for about 3 months. And I used this time to focus on my channel. That's when I had the most activity on my channel. But what has motivated you to start a YouTube channel?
So like I said earlier, I used to go to the gym as a young man, and all you'd have access to was magazines, Flex I used to read, but these guys were obviously all on steroids, and I was never gonna get like them. And it didn't really give you tips. It was just pictures of them just lifting massive weights that I could probably never aspire to. So I thought, you know what, I'll start a fitness channel over coronavirus, and the weather was lovely, and I filmed a lot of them outside. And I think that was my inspiration, was I wish I had back then what I'm doing now, and giving to the young men that may want to think about joining the army. So I've got military playlists on there as well, and people like you and I over 40 that want to keep fit, and we just add in a little bit of diversity to what's already out there on YouTube, and just giving it a go ourselves. And do you know what, I think it's a really good hobby, and it also holds me to account as well, so I have to do more training.
So people will hear me talk about social media all the time, the power of social media. I am glad you decided to start your YouTube channel, because otherwise I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet you. We've never laid eyes on each other. We met virtually, I think through Skype, a week ago, and we decided to do this collaboration. We met, I guess we connected on YouTube first, and then we decided to do this collaboration. So the power of social media, right? Most of the people that I have interviewed I've met on Instagram, and now I'm having a little bit more activity on YouTube. So again, I just love this amazing opportunity that we have, to do this collaboration, and look at it from from a military perspective and look at it from someone who's not in the same country that I am, and a male. So thank you so much, Sam, for this opportunity to have this conversation with you. Tell us where we can find you. Are you on, we know you're on YouTube, that's how we met, but are you on Instagram, or are you on Facebook? Where can we find you?
So I am on Instagram, but I'm just starting at my own Instagram Over 40s Military Fitness channel. I am on Twitter as Over 40s Military Fitness, and I've just sponsored a small soccer team in Cardiff Futsal. So I'm affiliated with them as well, and of course the main thing is Over 40s Military Fitness on YouTube.
I will link Sam's Over 40 Military Fitness. He's on Twitter, he's on YouTube, he's on Facebook, and he has sponsored a soccer team over in his hometown. So thank you, Sam. I really appreciate the opportunity to do this collaboration with you. We've tried different channels and it didn't work out, and you've been quite patient. So, we're doing our videos individually. Sam is in Great Britain. I'm here in Smyrna, Georgia, in the good old US of A. And we've decided to come together and do this collaboration just to get information to you guys, about overall health and overall fitness and overall well-being, mental health, military, how has this affected you, nutrition, as it relates to someone maybe in a different country, and what are their views on that. So thank you, Sam. I greatly appreciate it. We must do this again some other time. We'll do something fitness next time. So I appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Peter, this collab thing has been absolutely fantastic, and I've learned so much from you, and especially so much from your channel with regard to the drinks that you put on. And I think I've found a really good friend in you that I can certainly bounce ideas off, and I'm really looking forward to our next collab, when I'm going to try some of your drills on the athletics track. I hope everyone looks forward to that as well. But once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking me to be on your podcast, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
So again, you guys, thank you all for taking the time to listen to my podcast week after week, for giving me your feedback. Thanks to everyone who, every week I say this, thanks to everyone who has taken my invitation to interview with me. I haven't asked one person to do an interview and they have said no. Everyone has been open to have these conversations with me, and I'm so very grateful for that. To Polo, to Will, to Scott King, to my new friend Samuel Mouncher from all the way from Great Britain. I appreciate all of you guys who have given me your time to have these conversations as we collaborate and come together to get the message out, to help people with their fitness and their health and their overall well-being. Thanks to you guys, my fans, the people who follow me, for subscribing to my channels, and for your support. I greatly appreciate it, you guys. So until next time, you guys, get your ass up and move, y'all.